Well, already these guys are ready for picks and bans, so let's go.
Look at this, BaRRaCCuDDa left untouched in the middle of 4, finds the stun. He's going to be focusing Mask to slice to the back line. There goes Stealth, and there goes Mask as well. Triple kill coming up from BaRRaCCuDDa, and Luminosity are looking good to close out game 2. Trying to find the last hit. That's the 3rd kill in a row for andinster, and this is Luminosity. You can't count them out at any stage in the game. Looking for a 3rd, but BaRRaCCuDDa might be able to turn this. Detonate, double kill for the BaRRaCCuDDa.
We're in picks and bans again, Anatoliy, and I tell you something, if that game is anything to talk about, I'm pretty certain that you shouldn't go to the bathroom right now, because this could be quite quick.
Yeah, Allegiance has to make some serious adjustments going into Game 2. I'm sure they didn't expect the Ravana pick. SPL was leaning more towards Bellona and Ravana throughout the season, so maybe that kind of caught Allegiance off guard.
I'd love to go all the way back to whether SPL or Mattypocket made that teleport first, because that was a big sign of what the solo lanes were talking about. I think if SPL did it, it's a big talking point there. But Athena banned by Allegiance this time around. They don't want it themselves, and Sobek taken away from MrMakey.
Maybe MrMakey will lean on Ares this game. We'll see, because he leans on the aggressive gods. The passive gods didn't work that game with the Athena. Maybe they're going to look for an aggressive opening in the dual lane.
Well, Zeus going to take it out by Luminosity, Team Allegiance with the first pick. They're going to go straight back to Janus again, which realistically I don't think Incon really made too many mistakes on that.
No, he hit his through space and times also multiple times. He picked off the Thor on the left side. He hit the through space and time, the unstable vortex, getting a pick onto andinster. He's very comfortable on Janus.
I'll talk about someone very comfortable. andinster going to go straight back to the Thor. It worked out so well. Will we see Vulcan again, do you expect?
It's a possibility, but I wouldn't be surprised if BaRRaCCuDDa is just bored of Vulcan and will just play like Kronos or something.
Is that kind of BaRRaCCuDDa's mentality? He likes to mix things up?
Yeah, I've seen him do a lot of different things.
Well, maybe we'll see Sol out of him, or that could go over to BaRRaCCuDDa. We've seen him play that a couple of times this season too. Allegiance with their opportunity now for, well, pretty much the rest of the squad. Will they look for a support priority for the dual lane? We'll see.
What's good about the Sol pick here, it's a good flex pick. Whenever you have a flex pick to your arsenal and you can't recognize it from the enemy team, then you have the advantage right off the bat.
So obviously because you can go mid or in the dual lane as well.
Technically you can also run Sol in the solo lane if you've been practicing it enough. It's very powerful. It's good specifically against warriors early on, like tier. Sol is very good against tier.
Well, no Thanatos this time round for Lassiz. It looks like we're going to see the Najar come out and a Khepri as well going to be added to that roster for MrMakey. So a little bit more of a defensive look to pick opportunity here.
So this is very aggressive in terms of the mid-jungle synergy they have against Allegiance. Similar to how they had Thanatos Janus, Nasha fills that same role. We do have Guan Yu getting locked in for Luminosity, however.
Is that priority once again for SPL, do you expect?
It could very well be onto Jeff as well.
That could make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the flex pick here, if we don't know as the casters, it's a little bit difficult for the teams to know as well.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if we're saying that sort of thing about where's Sol going, where's Guan Yu going, that's exactly what Allegiance might be thinking too. Medusa was taken away by Luminosity. Again, there's a lot of respect to Oceans' Medusa there, and respect once more to Isis. But that means Allegiance is saying, we think that Sol is dual lane.
Yeah, and if they think that the Sol is dual lane, then they're going to have to recognize that it's going to be double magical, and they're going to have to build around that double magical. Maybe we'll see a runic shield coming out of Mattypocket, something along those lines.
Now, Luminosity also banning away Odin there against potentially Mattypocket on that, especially against Guan Yu, because Guan Yu, well, you can ride a horse, but you can't escape the cage.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that they revealed their jungler here, because Cirquet would have been really good against Guan Yu, but they already picked Naja, so that's not an option, unless they run like Naja solo lane and Cirquet jungle, which is
we're not
pretty
ranked
ambitious.
Now, Tolly.
It's
We're
pretty
not
ambitious
anymore. I know you've probably done something like that.
I've done a few
Chiron.
crazy things.
Now, Chiron's had a lot of changes since we've seen him played. He had a few hits to his ultimate as well as his passive. The ultimate, his mobility was the biggest one.
And that's, like you mentioned, that's the biggest thing. He can't escape with that. It's 40% debuff or something along those lines. It's so slow. It's just not as fluid as it used to be. And that's why we haven't seen it before played. I played it before. I was just like not happy.
But why are we seeing a Chiron instead of the Hou-Yi? Is that must be Sol BaRRaCCuDDa. I want to say that's Chiron mid.
It could be Guan Yu support with Sol.
Chiron mid with for BaRRaCCuDDa.
Could be.
I mean, he always plays the Hunters in mid lane. He was one of the first.
As long as you're trailing andinster here, you don't have to worry about escaping ever. You keep a good cover distance. You let the Thor set you up. You're in a good position. We do have Hou-Yi and Bellona locked in as the last picks for Allegiance.
Yeah, nice little opportunity there for them as well. So Mattypocket going to go back to the Bellona, and Oceans will take Hou-Yi this time round. Final pick will be Ravana, and the question is then, well, it's Guan Yu support, we know that much. But is it going to be Sol, or is it going to be Chiron in duo or mid?
If I had to take a guess, I would lean more towards Chiron middle.
I can agree with that. I think that's the way I'm probably going to see this one going too. Double physical in the mid lane, which means maybe we'll see, you know, once again, we'll see Incon head towards the Legion Helm one more time just for the extra defense.
Possibly. Another interesting thing, though, is Chiron can knock back the nausea after he initiates.
Oh, because of the kick from his amazing horsey feet.
Yep.
Well, let's see if the horsey feet are in the mid lane as we go into game 2.
Looking for that detonate for the secure, and it's going to go to Allegiance. It's stolen. That might have been Incon.
No follow-up from the rest of Allegiance. Oh, there comes the Kraken. It's going to find 4. Lassiz takes out Panda.
Nice shots from Oceans as well. What in the hell was that?
So, game 1 took less than 20 minutes. Game 2, will we see it last longer with these compositions, Anatoliy?
Well, it is Thor on andinster again. As long as he's feeling very comfortable making plays, it could very well be another 20-minute game. I expect Allegiance to make some necessary adjustments, however.
Well, Luminosity, we were talking about whether it would be BaRRaCCuDDa or BaRRaCCuDDa on that Chiron, and it is going to be Chiron mid lane for the BaRRaCCuDDa here. So what kind of pressure does Chiron bring to the mid lane then?
Well, he actually sustains a little bit for your jungler as well. So this allows andinsters to play a little bit more aggressive than he might be even used to. And when you have an even more aggressive andinster, that's very scary.
I guess that's also, you mentioned about, you know, Najjar versus Chiron, that you can knock him back, and that could play into that if Lassiz sashes in and then he immediately gets kicked into a tower maybe early on.
Yeah, that could be like something on the back of Lassiz's mind. It's like, oh my goodness, if I go in here and sash in, I'm out of position if he knocks me back into the tier 1 tower.
Well, we're going to see the new Ho-Yi skin played by Oceans there of this game. And talking about skins, you may be able to get one out of this chest that's on your screen right about now as well. Head over to promo.smitegame.com or claim it in-game as well. You've got 5 minutes left, or, well, just under now for you to do it. Maybe you'll get lucky this time round yourselves. Let's just see how... I love seeing how Ho-Yi's clear camps, because everyone's different in the way they do it.
Yeah, there's actually a specific way where you can triple bounce this back harpy camp and hit the red buff if it gets pulled to you. You just have to wait. You have to wait a little bit for the red buff to get pulled to that angle, though.
Interesting. A little bit of an insight there as well. So already nice and quick start. And we always talk about dual lane and then speed of how quickly it is to get to lane. Ho-Yi very, very good at that.
Yeah, Ho-Yi with a triple bounce, consecutively doing more damage, as we do see BaRRaCCuDDa getting into lane clearing. Was about to get sashed there, considering the fact that Lassiz was level 2. That was a smart, aggressive play.
Just before he had the level 2 to try and do anything back in response. So that early pressure there has allowed Allegiance to look for these left-hand harpies. Right ones are available, however, so they should trade out in the mid lane there as we tune into duo lane once more. It's Khepri and Ho-Yi up against Sol and Guan Yu. Where do we go? Where do we see the power spikes here?
So Sol and Guan Yu, as long as the Guan Yu can bunch up the wave, it makes it very... we do have very early aggression.
Gonna go down to Lassiz, and now Lassiz chasing onto the BaRRaCCuDDa as well. BaRRaCCuDDa takes a lot of poke, but I love the way he hovered around there and waited before using his charge to disengage. Not gonna land the portal though is Incon, but first blood this time round. Turnaround's fair play. Lassiz gets it.
And I believe that andinster had a red pod available to him, so he loses a red pod. We do have Naja red pod. We have Janus with Soul Stone and purple pod. The damage coming out of them, if you get caught in unstable vortex and the Naja ring bounces and the stun, that's so much damage on level 2.
And it works out so well for them. And now Allegiance in the duo lane as well. They're doing a very good job here of keeping the pressure on. You just saw MrMakey combining with Oceans with a route into a ricochet combo that was disgusting. As now solo lane once again. Allegiance looking better already this game.
Yeah, we do have Mattypocket is extremely low, but so is ScaryD. Both of them trading blows one for another. Here comes the bludgeon. Gonna get immunity framed, however.
Great overhead kick coming out from ScaryD. Timed it perfectly to make sure he avoided that bludgeon as well. I think even Mattypocket may have thought he had the opportunity there for that kill for himself in the solo lane. As now 2 minutes in, and it's Allegiance so far in control. Lassiz made an early rotation to the left-hand side, looking for some pressure. ScaryD got to be a little bit more careful here now. Or maybe Matty does too.
Yeah, they both are trading blows. Right now, ScaryD has more potions than Mattypocket, so the advantage goes to him, especially if he can stack his passive, getting that shield bonus per hit.
Look at what Andy's doing. He wants to use his hammer and jump away, but he can't because he'll get sashed, and that just sets up the team to collapse onto andinster. I love what Lassiz did there. He threw out the ring toss and then just sat there and auto-attack because he realized as soon as Andy goes for the hammer, he can stop it.
And that was a beautiful rotation coming out of not only Oceans, but also Mr.Makey. They recognized that there was going to be a little bit skirmish there, so they instantly capitalized on that, getting a return kill.
Talking about capitalizing, ScaryD ult for ult. Mattypocket forced under the tower, very, very low here. Not sure if he's got a health potion ticking away there, but he's got a minion wave coming in, so he won't want to go back to base yet. ScaryD in a decent health position. They could potentially look at diving, but he's got to be aware of a potential rotation, especially when there's a Janus in the map.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily dive this early in the game. I always use the motto ABC, always be clearing, right? So in this position, what ScaryD is doing, he's getting the imps first, and then he's going to look for the wave, and then if he keeps putting pressure on Mattypocket, he'll go for the boar, and then he'll go for his boar after that. It's just a consecutive chain.
ABC.
Always be clearing.
Always be clearing. What about if you're a jungler? ABC. Always be camping.
Always be camping.
That works too, especially in the solo lane. That's a good place
always
to
be
camp.
camping the solo lane.
That was the old Season 2 days, right? 3.5 minutes in, then Allegiance are definitely going to keep this game going a little bit longer than last time. The Soulstone start coming out from Incon, helping out with some of the damage that we've seen in this game. Mainly, though, Lassiz got off to a much better start. He was 0-2 at the start of last game. This time, he's the one 2-0.
And this is what you need to have for your jungler to have this momentum moving forward. You need to be able to use this gold spike and extend it to not only the mid lane, but you have to do it in the dual lane, and then you have to extend it to the Gold Fury. So next objective for Lassiz is to alleviate the pressure in the dual lane.
And in the dual lane, you actually saw him rotate over there at level 4 earlier on, trying to look for an opportunity. Didn't find it there. Going to clear out the mid wave now that Mackie has turned up with him as well. The 3 amigos are now together as the 3 amigos of Luminosity join up too. But both sets of Harpies go the way of Allegiance. And it's kind of a rinse repeat in the other, and basically a mirror of the last game where it's Allegiance that have the jungle control at the moment.
Yeah, we see ScaryD basically using his immunity against Mattypocket's bludgeon. So what Allegiance is doing good here, they get the left side mid Harpies, they get the right side mid Harpies. However, they kind of exposed their red buff early on. I'm surprised Luminosity didn't take advantage of that. Being a seasoned veteran team like Luminosity with Andinster there, normally he's very good about invading and taking advantage of your weak spots.
I agree, but he's 0-2 right now, isn't he? He's the one that's died twice in this game as Andinster, and maybe you said like when he's ahead and he's on form, he's in the zone. Does he get in his own head when he's behind?
Possibly a little bit. Every now and then, I would say yes. However, he's still really good at still finding those weaknesses. I'm surprised that the red buff went uncontested. Consider the fact that they saw the crossover from middle to the right side mid Harpies. Well,
we mentioned throwing dagger a couple of times with 2do with Hunters, and BaRRaCCuDDa this game did go for the Transcendence as well. Didn't go for the throwing dagger for the early pressure, which may have helped him out, I guess, a little bit in this lane, but the Transcendence is going to give him a bigger power spike.
Yeah, it helps you with the sustain. It transitions better in the mid game specifically. He was relying, we do have an engage.
Scary, going to get ulted immediately by Lassiz after the sash as well. No chance for the overhead kick. Through space and time, did fire off, but he ulted just away from it. But there goes Mattypocket looking for the kill. Not going to find it though. Mattypocket's going to die under the tower. Lassiz goes in to try and confirm as well, but ScaryD will survive. Meanwhile, left-hand side, the Gold Fury is being contested at the moment by LG, but luckily Allegiance aware of the situation, make sure it doesn't go down.
So ScaryD uses immunity frame on the bludgeon right there, baiting out Mattypocket. Mattypocket hit with the ulti. Unfortunately, with the tier 2 breastplate of Valor, it just wasn't enough damage to secure the kill, and it bought enough time to bait them and get a kill under his own tower.
It was mainly the tower that did all the work there for him, but that's all you need.
He'll take the credit.
Take the credit.
Yep.
ABC, always be safe. Oh no, that's ABS.
ABS.
Always be safe. It works out well. 6 minutes in, though, Lassiz' rotation to right. He tries to punish it, but not going to work. Andy, though, he's looking for Lassiz, knowing the ultimate is on cooldown now. He's going to look for the dunk, going to find it, but a great blink from Lassiz. Perfectly timed.
Jeff actually trusted that Andinster would hit that ultimate, takes to his cavalry charge, doesn't find it. However, they forced a blink out of Lassiz, which is a longer cooldown than the ultimates out of Jeff and Andinster.
And Incon in the mid lane. He's pretty safe on this Janus, honestly. His position is very, very good on this. Sometimes lacks damage, though, because he stays so well positioned that he's generally a little bit too far away sometimes. But at the moment, it's very hard to pick off, which is a good, important factor, especially when Andy's on a warpath right now.
Yeah, and you're just a Janus player that can portal through any wall that you want. So generally, you could play safe. If you're safe, you're super safe.
Yep.
But you could play aggressive and still be safe with your portals anytime you want.
So left Harpies once again going to go away of Allegiance, even though Luminosity did get themselves a kill on the board in favor of ScaryD once again, who, let's be honest, he's having a very, very good first set for Luminosity.
Absolutely. With the early double kill in game number 1, with already surviving the gank and getting a kill under his own tower in game 2, ScaryD is having a really good set. We do have Allegiance starting the right side mid Harpies. However, okay, it looks like Luminosity is going for their own red. I was thinking that they might have started to go fear there.
And you said about the red buff not being defended by Allegiance earlier on. We didn't see Andinster invade. But now, because that worked out for him the first time, the rotation is perfect for their jungle now. So they're like left Harpies, right Harpies, red buff. And they can just keep doing that and know that they're not going to be up until they're there for it.
Yeah, so we have here Allegiance looking for a potential pick. They're not going to necessarily start Golf here. They just want to be together in case anything crazy happens. Red buff has been started for Allegiance.
Crazy though, Mattypocket getting very low on this right hand side. ScaryD in a good position, and you can see Scary zoning him off the experience here as well. Luckily, there's nothing up in his jungle to be stolen away though.
I wouldn't be surprised if ScaryD starts to proxy from here on out. He's going to clear the wave, and he has to do something to snowball his advantage early on. And if there's nothing to steal, you might as well proxy, you might as well force Lassiz to alleviate the pressure from Mattypocket, and then as a result, the rest of Luminosity might force Golf
Fury or ganks in the other lanes. We'll see if that ends up happening from Scary, because at the moment he seems to have control of this lane for the time being up against Mattypocket. And to be fair, that all was created from the pressure that Allegiance put on him in the first place that he turned around.
Yeah, he's 2 levels ahead right now. He has the tier 2 breastplate over the tier 1. He keeps using his immunity over the bludgeon, which is the big power damage tool from Bellona. So as long as he keeps doing that, he's in a good position to keep carrying from here.
So in the Bellona versus Ravana matchup as well, do you want to max Scourge at all just for the extra disarm length? I guess it's good against Ravana.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. However, if you think about it, the bludgeon is a 10-second cooldown, and the immunity frame ability coming out of Ravana is 18-second flat.
The other head, yeah.
Yeah, so as a result, you can actually bait out the immunity frames with your first bludgeon and then do it again, knowing you have that 8-second window.
We'll keep an eye on that one between the two, 10 to 11. Now a little bit of a gap closer for Maddie. It was a 2-level lead. It's about a level and a half, I want to say, or just under a level. But in mid lane, the ultimate comes out there from MrMakey on point as cavalry charges, but snipes are being rained down by BaRRaCCuDDa. It's not enough for the kill on Incon, though. If he would have hit that second one that we saw on the screen, that would have been death.
Yeah, and even though they didn't get the kill here, the fact that they forced them out allows them to put pressure in the dual lane jungle side. They're going to... Okay, they just counter ward. They didn't actually start Golf here, but that's a win in itself. The fact that you deviate them into the mid lane, you clear the counter ward, and then now you're going to keep farming, and then look for a play in the future.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, though, they did use 2 ultimates and didn't find that what they were really looking for. Purification, though, is on cooldown for Incon. Luckily for Incon, he's got his ultimate still available, so we'll have an opportunity. Lassiz is a little bit aggressive here at the moment. Going to get the ring toss off. Root hits onto Jeff. Andinster recalling there as Lassiz goes aggressive, but immediately Jeff disengages.
Yeah, and as Lassiz here, you do still have that power spike. You have Jonan's finish. Thor doesn't have Jonan's finished at all here. So why not be aggressive? Use that pen to your advantage. Use the cooldown to your advantage. Use your ultimate as much as you can.
Left harpies once again. 2 Allegiance. I think I've said that the whole time. Those left harpies have gone right ones are available, but instead of going for the rights here, they're going for the Golf Fury. Luminosity, are they aware of this? They know cavalry charges down. Andinster does have his ultimate. Jeff's going to be the first one here, but the sun's raining down from Hoi, and through space and time will secure the Golf Fury for Allegiance. BaRRaCCuDDa will take out Lassiz as a teleport from ScaryD secures MrMakey as well. But to be honest, I'm not too upset if I'm Allegiance.
Okay, so you lost 2 members here for a Golf Fury at the 10-minute mark. It depends what you lose after this. If that's all you lose, just 2 members, then that's good. If you lose a tier 1 mid tower and those 2 members, then that's bad, because now you're losing farm, now you're losing tower, you're losing the map pressure.
Well, teleport coming in from Mattypocket to try and defend this, but ScaryD putting the pressure onto Incon again, who opens a portal to escape. Meanwhile, though, Mattypocket beating down JeffHindla, who will sustain up. He does help to keep the tier 1 tower alive for now, though. There's not many minions left, but they're tanky enough to keep this up, and nobody else can defend from Allegiance. Luminosity get 2 kills and a tower in response to that Golf Fury.
The way they're allowed to do this is based off of the Guan you sustain. Not only does he have sustain, he has the meditation on top of that. Mattypocket teleported in trying to defend, but because of the sustain from Guan Yu, it negated all of that.
Portal was opened up by Incon, allowing Lassiz to get in there and onto Andinster. Is it enough for a kill? It is, you know. Mattypocket will secure it. Snipes through the wall from BaRRaCCuDDa will only slow them down. They won't actually find them anything. But did they secure their own red? They did, you know. It went over to MrMakey, which is quite important, because otherwise it would have been 2 kills for a Golf Fury, as well as a tier 1 tower and the whole left-hand jungle.
A little bit of a risk versus reward not going into the favor of Andinster. Sometimes he makes these aggressive plays and calls towards the red buff. In that situation, it was a little bit misguided. He paid the price, and now Allegiance is on the other side of things, pushing the tier 1 bit.
Looking for the tier 1, but there's only, honestly, it's Incon and MrMakey. There's not a lot of physical damage to really bring down that tower, so it will stand for now.
Yeah, but they poke out TheBoosh over there, doing half health to both of those 2 members, forcing them to back. They could potentially look for an aggressive play, maybe in the soul lane side of things. Both of those 2 towers are very low, but on ScaryD side of things, you do have Breastplate of Valor finish. You do have Meditation online. You also have Ishval to be able to dish out the damage onto Bellona as well. If she dives the tower, she could go down again.
So the experience lead at the moment for Allegiance, it does allow them to go back to base right now and get their second relics online. This is a big power spike in the game that doesn't get talked about too much, but the second relic can really be impactful for these team fights.
Yes, exactly. We had the Naja go for the blink early at level 1. Not having purification at level 1 through 11 is very big. Now, he only had 1 dev during that, so he was playing very carefully, but because of that, he was making the aggressive plays, but Now he has the Purification. He can even be more aggressive.
And if you think about that, if they're not recognizing that LG, he could go aggressive. They could turn on him and then purify out of it and get himself in a better situation. Once again, tuning in with ScaryD. Level 15 to the 13 of Mattypocket here. His Ravana has been very good today.
Yeah, he's just being a big old bully right now. This is the only way you can describe it. He has Itchavil right now. Bellona only having Breastplate of Valor finish. We do have the Janus coming through, trying to get a gank on ScaryD. Even
4 members,
the
though.
support is there.
4 members. They do get the ult off, but Andy's now in the sky, going to try and turn this one around. ScaryD's still alive. 4-man ultimate comes out from andinster, and now Mattypocket's under pressure as the whole team of Luminosity come charging in. Horses abound as well. Sash from Lassiz back into the danger zone. Ult from BaRRaCCuDDa is a bit off the mark. Snipe does connect, but Mattypocket is still alive as Andy double taps Lassiz in the back of his head, and Mattypocket's going to keep on running. MrMakey's ult is on cooldown as well. Incon disengages, and you mentioned this, Tolly. ScaryD, if they can force people over, they can find things.
What was really impressive about, that through space and time, almost taking out ScaryD's life there. But what was really impressive about andinster's hammer was it killed Lassiz and it didn't proc the Khepri ultimate onto Mattypocket. It was very like machine-esque snipe coming out of andinster.
Talking about machine, BaRRaCCuDDa sat in that left-hand lane, relied on his team, poked that tower down to half health, and that's actually forced Mattypocket to come and teleport to defend that, because actually Oceans, he rotated to mid to try and make sure he could get to that fight if he was required.
And now that Mattypocket's in the dual lane without teleport, this might open up the solo lane. We do see 2 members here pushing in the solo lane, so that tower is guaranteed going down. There's nobody from Allegiance contesting the solo side.
So in the end, you saw that fight. ScaryD gets committed on, survives, turn around in favor of Luminosity. They find a kill. They pressure left-hand side, which creates the right-hand side to get a tier 1 tower. Luminosity are back in this game.
It's a game of tactics.
It really is.
You're putting one person on one side, you're exposing the other, and now you're rotating to that exposed side.
Well, luckily ScaryD, well, luckily I should say for Allegiance, ScaryD didn't notice the blue buff was up in the jungle. He may have looked for that one on the right-hand side. Instead, we will see Mattypocket swing around and pick that one up for himself. As Ocean's going to head back to base here, probably working towards that Assy, I guess, to go alongside the Transcendence and Warrior tab he's got.
Yeah, what's also very interesting, I'd want to look at BaRRaCCuDDa's build right here.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, you don't see Warlock Sash for Soul in the dual lane. Normally, you see Warlock Sash and Mages in the mid lane, or even in solo lane specifically. So this is a very interesting build coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa.
And is that just because he's worried about burst? Because that's, I guess, all he's got to worry about, because Disapparate will keep him alive a lot.
All he has to worry about is the Blink Nausea play. That's about it.
Before he can get Disapparate
And if
off.
he stays alive, then the Guan Yu sustain from there is going to top him off once he lands.
It's a good call. I mean, realistically, that's the only thing I'd be worried about. Maybe even through space and time hitting you. They could, keep you alive.
Unlikely, but it's very possible. And especially with Incon, he's been very consistent this set so far, hitting through, yeah.
Well, now 3 members from Luminosity swinging around to the left-hand side. andinster is actually here as well, but he's in the jungle trying to create a zone. Incon going to spot him out and actually force andinster to ult. A little bit worried about his position in there, andinster, so that ult goes on cooldown. But Lassiz hasn't shown his face just yet. He was hiding around the wall there, so they didn't spot him. But now on that left-hand side, they may see some aggression, but 5 members stronger. Luminosity, they really want this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that Thor ultimate was really good too, because now the members under the tier 1 dual lane tower have to watch out for that. Incon getting poked out. We do have BaRRaCCuDDa trying to get the tower, getting zoned out by MrMakey. ScaryD getting zoned out. Tier 1 tower does fall. Lassiz missing the ultimate. Cavalry charge does connect.
But Purification came out from Lassiz to stop the stun. ScaryD gonna go in and hit 4 members of the team. Lassiz in trouble. MrMakey has to ult him. You can see Oceans jump on his head and Incon gets a good unstable vortex. ScaryD out of the fight. Mattypocket trying to create a zone for his team, but Luminosity still marching on with Guan Yu sustain.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they're able to sustain this. Now, ScaryD falling is really unfortunate here, but the fact is they forced the Khepri ultimate onto Lassiz. Lassiz barely able to survive. They did get a kill onto ScaryD, but the Guan Yu sustain is still good enough that they could still pull a 4v5 fight.
Yeah, it looks like Allegiance want to try and force this forward a little bit. A little bit low on health is Incon though, but Mattypocket going to try and slow the back end of Luminosity, I guess, so they can look towards this Gold Fury or even a pick.
Yeah, Gold Fury being started by Allegiance. Oceans is tanking it, going to reset to Mackie. We do have a contest coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa and JeffHindla.
And Barry's going to be focused immediately, but Disapparate comes into play again. Andy has teleported into the backside by the looks of it, and now he's up in the sky. The team of Allegiance know it. They're trying not to group up for another 4-man ultimate, because that's what happened last time. The port was available, and Lassiz took it, and Andy was waiting. The sash from Lassiz was good, but the in-hand from Andy was better.
He read him like a book. He knew that his only option was to go through the portal, so preemptively did that. Mattypocket falling to ScaryD. Now this is a 2-man advantage for Luminosity.
It's going to be 3, because Incon, he's stuck against the wall. He was trying to portal around the corner. Wasn't going to be able to find it.
Does die to Chaos Brood, however. Not to
Damn
anyone from
brutes.
Luminosity.
They're so strong. Well, talking about strong, this tier 2 Tower of Allegiance won't be much longer. It's going to fall down as well. The Gold Fury is still available for Luminosity as well, and Allegiance, they're struggling again.
Yeah, the game was actually tied around 37,000 gold point, and now after the tier 1 tower in the dual lane, now things are opening up for Luminosity. That Thor play is just remarkable. Andinster is playing really, really well on this Thor.
Can we have a look at the graphs as we see the Gold Fury about to go down here as well? Because honestly, for me, the talking point was the Gold Fury. From the Gold Fury that Allegiance got, after that, it was LG that seemed to start winning out.
Yeah, because they lost 2 members. They lost the tier 1 mid tower. Now, Andinster did fall to the red buff. That didn't really matter because now they have map control with the mid tower. And then from the mid tower, they transitioned that towards the solo lane, and now they slowly pushed away towards the dual lane. So it's like methodical and tactical how Luminosity is playing this
It's
set.
just like swaying backwards and forwards around the map where you need to be at the right time. 6-4 is the scoreline now. Allegiance a lot better this game, but they're starting to struggle once more in this set. When we look at the player damage, you can see BaRRaCCuDDa top of the charts with that Warlock Sash build of his, getting off consistent damage. And surprisingly enough, Allegiance, even though they're behind at the moment, it's the Nuzhar and Janus that are the next 2 after him.
Yeah, speaking of BaRRaCCuDDa's build, I wouldn't be surprised if he elects to do a Chronos Pendant build from here, just playing a more utility style. You do have Andinster doing the damage and TheBoosh doing damage, so why not just get off a bunch of cooldowns? And if Lassiz ever sticks on you, you can always have your third ability up constantly.
Constantly just to get himself away from the danger. And now we're going to see Lassiz in the mid lane, who's worked on, he's got Brawler's Beat Stick to go alongside the Jotuns. They need the actual healing reduction more than anything else. That's why you see as well, we've got the Curse online.
Yeah, MrMakey having the Curse here, definitely going to put a stop a little bit. We do have a cavalry charge from JeffHindla looking for something. Incon going through the wall.
Doesn't find the stun on anyone though, but there's a dunk coming in from Andinster, which is going to put some pressure on. But he's going to get ulted into the sky now. Sun's raining down from Ocean to try and get some damage off as well. Andinster falls to Lassiz, but Lassiz in an awkward spot, going to sash onto ScaryD. BaRRaCCuDDa around the side with the Stellar Burst and the Supernova. Gets some good poke into Lassiz, and Lassiz is trying to get himself killed. Kill me, he says, please. And then BaRRaCCuDDa finally says, so I will. But after the Khepri ult goes down, Luminosity going to push on one more time now, and Mattypocket in an awkward position, has no ultimate to get away. Mattypocket will fall too. Oceans has to retreat. Luminosity pressure in mid.
2-for-0 exchange in the favor of Luminosity. They're going to look to put pressure. They're not done yet, though. They're looking for MrMakey. He does have to use his Curse defensively to prevent the chase. BaRRaCCuDDa getting poked out a little bit. However, ScaryD still wants to put pressure. Might get a solo kill under the Phoenix. He does as the tier 2 mid tower falls.
He may fall down up to that portal at the end of the day, and he will, though, but he did pick up Mackie, which allowed his team to get that tier 2 tower, and he's a support, he's supporting 2 high damage dealers that are inside for Luminosity right now. Fire Giant is available, but they got what they were after. They got the tier 2.
So they got a 3-for-1 exchange with the tier 2 mid tower. I feel like if they got a 2-for-0 in the tier 2 tower, they might have extended that to the tier 2 in the solo side.
But instead, because ScaryD fell down, I mean,
that's a big
Scary down for Mackie, I guess, wasn't really worth it.
Not worth it at all. It looks cool for ScaryD. It's like, I got a kill. I might be able to get out with my immunity. However, Allegiance had something else to say about that.
Well, it just gave Allegiance a moment's notice to go and try and clear their jungle. Andy, though, may have second thoughts about it. He's got a ward there to say, hey, I'm going to go for a double tap, but Ricochet saves the day more than anything else.
Yeah, and start thinking like, hey, I'm here. I see you guys. Maybe I'll steal this. Maybe I won't, but you'll know that I'm here.
So where's the next point of contention for Luminosity now? We're just going to continue stripping the towers, look for the right-hand side, or are we looking Fire Giant now?
If this is something that is similar to Game 1, they're going to look more towards the last remaining Tier 2 tower out of Allegiance. They're going to ward up, play aggressively with this long-range Thor setup that they have. They're going to lean on JeffHindla's sustain as well to keep them topped off. So they want to keep playing aggressive. They want to ward aggressively, look for somebody out of position, get a pick, look for the tower, look for Fire Giant afterwards.
Well, I mentioned about anti-heal online with the Brawler's B6 Pestilence and the Curse as well. Can you actually just check player healing coming out as well here from our good boy JeffHindla and see how much of an impact he's making? 12,600 healing so far.
And that's nothing to scoff at. That's the healing from his abilities and the meditation as well.
If you actually just look at the player damage that's on that screen on the left-hand side, it basically nullifies everything Lassiz has done in terms of healing.
Yeah, and that's a big point too, because he got an early 2 kills. So the fact that you had an early 2 kills and you're not able to make anything out of it, it's a really annoying feeling.
Blink from Lassiz and immediately ults one to the sky as well. I believe that's Andinster who's going to get bursted again with a good ultimate from Mattypocket following it up as well. But now Lassiz is in trouble and fall down to BaRRaCCuDDa. Jeff created a zone on the backside onto Oceans and Mackie, and Mattypocket has to fall back to defensive use, but he's in trouble too, going to get ulted by Mackie. They're once again going to wait for that to wear down. As look at that, BaRRaCCuDDa is focusing on the left-hand side there onto Incon to keep him busy. Mattypocket's still alive until the overhead kick hits, and BaRRaCCuDDa through the wall looking for the snipes, gets one. one. Doesn't get the third
Is his
one,
second
though.
ability up, though? Is he going to proc it? It doesn't look like he did have the cooldown necessary to secure the kill on the
Another
Janus.
2 seconds.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. It was really exciting to see how Lassiz sets up the early kill onto Andinster, but unfortunately, because of the sustain on the Guan Yu, they can still fight 4v5 because all the cooldowns from Allegiance is down. So why not take a fight with sustain?
Exactly, and then because they did that, now they're going to get what you said they should go after is the tier 2 tower off that engagement. They get it, and it's just Phoenix's remaining once again for Allegiance in this game. Luminosity, you can just head back and start looking to buy it.
Yeah, okay, so they lost vision around Fire Giant, so what they're going to look to do is they're going to rotate over to Gold Fury right now, extend that lead a little bit. What they can't afford to do is have Allegiance sneak a Fire Giant under the nose. That's going to allow Allegiance to kind of stall the game out a little bit. Experience-wise, they're really far behind gold-wise. 6,000 gold, not the end of the world at the 23-minute mark.
Luckily enough, though, they've got good wall coverage at the Fire Giant, not at the Fire Giant pit, but around that area so they can see what they're doing. So Allegiance know the Gold Fury's going on. Through space and time, fired, looking for that cheeky snipe. This time round, though, once again, Luminosity reset it to make sure it's fine.
And Scary D zoning out 3 members coming out of Allegiance. He's doing such a good job this whole game, making his presence known throughout. Now, we do see Luminosity getting the Gold Fury. They're looking to remain putting a lot of pressure. Incon getting poked out by the double tap. Not even able to go through the portal, as we do have JeffHindla with cavalry charge, stunning out MrMakey.
Is in a lot of trouble now. Going to be body blocked to high heaven as well. The sun's come raining down from Ocean to help him out. But Makey ults in place, and Scary smashes him with that big ultimate to secure the kill. Luminosity getting the Gold Fury as well. Is it just time for a Phoenix?
Yeah, where they are right now, based off of those 2 kills, you're right next to middle Phoenix. This is a good timing to get the mid Phoenix.
Well, they might even get another kill there as well, as it looks like Mattypocket going to get bursted down as well. JeffHindla credited for the kill as well. Phoenix will eventually fall. It took some while without minions, and now Luminosity, next call. Phoenix again.
Yeah, 3 players down this time instead of 2. Why not go for this next Phoenix? And now they're going to reset off of this and lean towards Fire Giant. They have the sustain from the Guan Yu. They're going to take full advantage of it.
Full advantage indeed, and I guess the last breath of Allegiance here, maybe try and force a Fire Giant now as Luminosity trying to go back to base.
Yeah, if we see the gold in here, we do see Scary D 3,000 gold, Jeff at 2.6, BaRRaCCuDDa 2.2, Andinster 1.8. They're just sitting on so much gold in hand.
They will strip the blue before they go, and I understand the staggered backs here is the very important thing that the better teams will do, just to make sure that not everybody backs at the same time and gives up a free Fire Giant.
Exactly. I'm surprised that Allegiance didn't take advantage of the Gold Fury earlier to try to sneak Fire Giant, because it was they needed to do something very drastically, and that was their one-time play to be made, but they didn't go for it. Now, Luminosity, they're up about 11,000 gold, 10 to 11,000 gold right now. They're looking to put pressure now onto the Fire Giant moving forward. And from there, there's not really much Allegiance can do. They're already down 2 Phoenixes.
So you're looking for a through space and time, or a ring toss, or a ricochet, or...
I would have Bellona kind of scouted out, look for a double ultimate between through space and time and the Bellona, because then maybe the through space and time portals can allow the Bellona to potentially escape.
Well, I mean, you do also have MrMakey as well, who could ult somebody who goes in deep and, you know, just get him back out of the danger field, I guess, as well. But we'll see how this works. Is Makey on the front line right now. Scary D going to smash him one more time. Abduct from Makey was used to disengage, but he gets picked accidentally, and now MrMakey may have to ult himself, and that's not a good situation for him. The wall from Andinster stops the portal usage, but it's going to close in his face. Makey falls down. Scary D and Andy combining for that kill with BaRRaCCuDDa too.
The walls have been really on point coming out of Andinster, especially in the first game when he cut off the intersection path and the mid path. Scary D playing very aggressively, trying to zone out as the rest of Luminosity does get Fire Giant. Andinster comes crashing down. Mattypocket's going to be the second victim, as we do have Scary D barely able to survive after the immunity.
He does unstable. Lassiz, though, does clean up Andinster for that as well. BaRRaCCuDDa now swinging around with the Fire Giant as well. BaRRaCCuDDa with the ultimate very early there to try and push them back. Remember, these 2 Phoenixes are down in the middle and right-hand side now as well. Supernova over the wall from BaRRaCCuDDa. A bit cheeky, looking for the big burst damage play. Didn't find it, though. And now Luminosity with Andinster being down. They're going to swing around left and look for that final Phoenix.
Yeah, so they're up 2 Phoenixes. Right now, Allegiance has to be very careful how they play this. They have to defend this last Phoenix. So if they lose this Phoenix, they're not going to be able to defend the Time Room. Their best bet is to make an all-in aggressive play. But they're going to have to somehow deal with Guan Yu's sustain. And if you look at the Guan Yu's arms, he's very tanky as well. Also having Spare Robe online, the negation after he gets CC'd from the Naja Sash, if he gets taken to the sky, that Naja ultimate is going to do no damage. So that's why he's not the target.
So game 1, Allegiance got behind. Game 2 this time around, what was the turning point in this one? Was it all about that Gold Fury?
It was
it
a lot of things.
Well,
it was the sustain mostly, I believe, from the Guan Yu. Now, Scary D was making a lot of plays. The dive under the Tier 1 tower really hurt Allegiance. It cost them a lot of time and a death. And the sustain from Guan Yu just allows Luminosity to carry these objectives. Even if they lose one player, they constantly still fight 4v5 with the Guan Yu sustain.
Well, Luminosity been a little bit patient there, wait for Andy to get to mid lane now, and now they're looking for aggression on Mackie again, who's under pressure, has to abduct away, but Guan Yu giving chase, gonna force heal on Mackie, and you can actually see a defensive ult from Mattypocket come down. Final Phoenix falls. Lassiz will be the first casualty. The Titan under threat. Luminosity are possibly gonna go 2-0 any second now and climb themselves in the rankings a little bit more and head themselves to 10-6 this week.
That's very important for Luminosity to come out strong like this, because coming off a 1-to-1 split against Allegiance in week number 5, and now winning 2-0 with Scary D replacing Snoopy, you bet that Luminosity is feeling really good.
Well, you think about it, they drew with Allegiance and then they lost to Sora, I believe, as well, correct?
I believe that they did lose 0-2 against Sora, yeah.
Oh, no, so they split with Randozos. That
No,
was
it was actually Allegiance that lost 0-2
was,
against Sora.
But it was actually, they split with Randozos, which was the biggest upset that we've seen so far this season, I want to say, when LG lost that game.
Yeah, that's why a lot of teams, a lot of players and spectators will count Luminosity out, but I know that the players are so veteran that the second half means everything. We looked at the Super Regionals, the second half of the split, Enemy came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did. They really did. Now maybe LG can climb themselves back up, because in the moment, pretty good performance from them. But talking point for me for that game, for definitely Scary D.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Scary D was definitely my player of the game to look at. He not only played Ravana that game, but he made it work specifically.
Both games too.
Yeah, against the Bellona, who should technically out-clear you in the early game, but he was just being a big bully once he got that lead.
I mean, game 1, we saw him teleport to this. This was an early game in game 1 too, and this rotation that he made, he got an impact straight off the bat, finding that kill on Lassiz and helping out his team just continue the lead that they already started creating.
He even made that immunity frame prevent the dev side, which was really huge. This is the jump over the wall, which was a nice double kill at the 6.5 minute mark. It was beautiful.
And then this is where he started proxying. This is where his confidence was showing, where he's like, listen boys, I'm in this game. I'm not worried. If you want to rotate on me, fine, because my team will bully you elsewhere. So I can just start, using these rotations and proxy farm.
Yeah, he was 2 to 3 levels ahead at that point. He had a fully finished itchable.
This one, totally. This is game 2 where he gets the turnaround.
Oh yeah, so he was dove under this tower. He was just barely dodging the through space in time. The Bellona ultimate is going to connect here. However, the bludgeon out of range. The immunity puts him out of range from the connecting hit. He didn't even actually dodge it. He was just out of range of it.
And they obviously, because of that overhead kick, he set him up as well. This is the Fire Giant fight as well that went on for himself, where he gets the root on Lassiz to stop him going through the pole. We didn't catch that one.
Yeah, he just, when you get rooted, obviously, if you don't use Purification, you're not going to be able to move or go through those portals. And we do have more cleanup from Scary D. He was just raining truck this game.
Yeah, he had a great performance. I think the big talking point for him, though, is this is another play where he just pushes down towards the Phoenix, picks up Mattypocket as well. And he actually went on there as well to pick up some more. But Scary had a great game.
Yeah, and we do see him chasing down after JeffHindla. He'll follow up. The aggressive calls, more importantly, from andinster allow Scary D to be this aggressive and utilize his advantage.
He got a very, very good performance for him as well. So once again, LG do move on as well. And we actually have Scary D joining us on the line for his first interview on his new roster, Luminosity. Scary, how you doing, buddy?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Nice. Doing good.
Well, first of all, how's your day been?
It's been good, dude.
Yeah?
I'm really excited.
So talk to me a little bit about stepping onto the Luminosity roster, because let's be honest, these guys are very, very well known, and to an extent, you're not as well known as them, and you're coming up with them. Is it a rough transition for you? Or are the guys making it easy?
The first couple nights I was with them, I was like really nervous, and like I was like playing way worse because I was nervous and stuff. But like now I'm way more confident. I think I'm like ready to play at the top level and stuff.
You definitely played very confidently that game. I'm really impressed the way you handled the Ravana specifically. Now, something I have to ask you about the first game was you didn't build any magical defense. You went Frostbound Interval, and is that partly because of how far ahead you were versus how behind the Janus was?
Yeah, it's both things. Like Ravana, I think he's like a snowball god, and like Interval lets you snowballs every game even harder, like really hard. And like game, you just sell it for kin size, and like he stays relevant all game, I think.
So talk to me a little bit about as well, going through that whole game, you just seem to like enjoy yourself in that lane more than not with proxy farming and just got yourself in a dominant position. What was going through your mind during that set? Because obviously it's your first set with this new team.
I was just like really pumped, like when we got like first blood and stuff and mid and stuff, and then like I was just like pumped the rest of the set, like after we got ahead, and I just like went off, I think.
Well, finally, one of the last questions I've got for you as well. Next opponent you have is Enemy, who are #1 this season. How you feeling about that matchup? Going to be against Marauder.
I hope we win.
That's all lane.
Pretty much,
yeah,
like as always. But it's gonna be tough. But I think we can win fairly. I'm really excited.
Congratulations for your great performance today as well, buddy. Any shouts you want to give Scary D before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Luminosity for letting me play under them. My teammates were being awesome.
No,
And-
nothing else? No?
Nope.
You good? Just Luminosity.
Yeah.
Baba
And then
Yeti, maybe?
one last thing, hashtag Allied Strong.
Good lad, good lad. That's what I like to see. I was,
Yeah.
like, I was a bit disappointed, like nothing else. I wasn't really trying to get into the Allied side, but still, thanks for joining us, ScaryD. Congratulations on your first 2-0 win on the side of Luminosity.
Thank you.
That's it. We're gonna let you go. Now we can head over to the standings and see how everything today has changed in this. We've got enemy at number 1, Thor at number 2, Luminosity now climb themselves up to number 3.
This is very important for Luminosity to take this lead. We do have Eager trailing 4th at 9-5, Denial 7-7, Envious at 6-8, Allegiance dropping down to 5-11, Rendoso still on the bottom of the pack 1-13.
But they still have that win over LG. But guess what? We've got more games to come. Tomorrow is Friday, so we head over to EU. We're going to see Fnatic versus Leftovers, Cringe Crew versus Torpedo Gaming, and Panthera versus Team Dignitas to round out the day. What do you feel about today's game, Anatoliy?
I'm really excited. I expected this last set to be a little bit more closer, but ScaryD performing like that, I'm not surprised that these games actually went 2-0 like that.
Well, remember, guys, this is week 6 now as well, so everybody that plays on a team is roster locked permanently. We'll find out where Snoopy ends up, if he ends up anywhere, but ScaryD, I tell you something, that kid is going to be staying on that roster for the foreseeable future if he carries on from that. From me, from Tolly, from production, and F. Don and Adonis as well, take it easy and have a wonderful rest of your night.